Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HP Podcast, episode number 358. My microphone decided to go flaccid on me for a moment there, which is not something you generally want your microphone to do. I'm Ben, and with me here today are the beautiful boys of the HP Podcast. Dave, I want to go to you first because you're wearing that shirt that I like again. And I like it. I like the color. I think it looks good on you. I think you look good in general, Dave. But do you have like a rotation? Because like when I didn't just wear hoodies and shorts because I work at home and wear that every day, like I had kind of like I got 5 outfits that I wear to work, and Monday's one outfit, Tuesday's the next outfit. I feel like you're not quite that rigid, but you wear that shirt on Tuesday night a lot.
I as I put it on, so it's an after work outfit is what it is. And
okay.
I have a few shirts, pants, whatever, like outfits that are like comfortable, that I like to wear, not for bed, but not for work, but something in between. And as I was putting this on today, I'm like, I wear this shirt a lot for this show, and I've seen myself in the thumbnails, and I'm like, people are just seeing the same 4 or 5 shirts, and it's not intentional. It's just that I'm very committed to comfortable clothes, in that I'll have 5 or 6 pairs of pants or shirts that I'll wear until they just disintegrate. And this is one of those shirts. It feels nice. It's an Old Navy shirt, so nothing special, but it's like a big and tall.
Yeah.
Like they have some tall sizes, and I have a like stupidly long torso and like relatively short legs. So anytime I can get like a tall fit, it feels better than anything else. So
you've also told us in the past on this show that you have a long butt crack.
Yep.
Does that play into the clothing factor?
Short legs, long torso, long
Yeah.
butt crack.
Yeah, I
I
don't
would
know.
like to draw just a very rough figure of you from memory, just with those specifications alone.
It's a lot like the dwarves from Deep Rock, if you look closely enough. But
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I don't know if there's a connection between the
You've played
three.
that
But
game long enough, you started to become one of them.
yeah, exactly. I think when you die in that game and you respawn on the space rig and you come out in the little robes, like the hospital robes, you
Yeah.
can see their butt cracks. So that's
Yeah.
how I know.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't have a lot of clothes, and the clothes I do have, I like it. So I guess yeah, that's why. But
I
thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do. I like the shirt, so I don't. You could wear it every time I see you. That's totally fine with me. Um, I'm wearing a shirt right now. It says Falcon Technologies, and
The fuck is that?
well, I'm getting there. I go to the dentist last week or week before, just for like a regular, twice a year cleaning, whatever. And I, sit down in the chair and open your mouth. And she starts cleaning my teeth. She's like, "Oh, you drive for Falcon," and it just launches into, "I know this person who drives for Falcon, and that person, yada yada yada." And like literally, we're talking 4 to 5 minutes of her just talking about this company. And then she's like, "Okay, you can rinse." And then she goes, "So what's your route?" or something like that, some question like that. And I said, "I don't know. My friend is a salesman and gave me this hoodie." She's like, "Oh." She just like told me her whole life story and every possible affiliation, which was great because I didn't want to have to talk. You know how that's like waiters and dental hygienists are the two people who ask you the things when it's least convenient to speak. So like that was fine. I didn't need to talk, but it was just funny. She like went on this whole like, "I'm trying to connect with you as a patient," and yada yada yada. For me to have no, I don't even know what this company does. I think they do natural gas or something. Still have no idea. So that's that.
Speaking of natural gas, you're supposed to throw a brand in there.
I thought
What's
you
up,
were going to connect
boys?
that back to your long butt crack
What's
or
up,
something. I don't know.
boys?
Hi,
He got it.
Brandon.
He put his hand up. But yeah, anyways.
I knew what you were doing. I knew what you were doing. Dave and I were on the same page. Good evening, gentlemen.
What's going on, man?
Oh, same thing, different day.
You have a really stressful long work week this week, don't you?
Yeah, very stressful. We have a couple different locations, and I was at a different location this week, and that was kind of interesting. Got to see a different part of town.
I
Got
was being sarcastic because you work like 3 days this week. But-
true. But I got to try Wingstop for the first time, so
Oh.
that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
On my way in, I scoped it out. I'd never tried it, and I saw it when I was driving. And I literally made a U-turn after work specifically to get Wingstop, and I ate chicken nuggets in my car with my jacket on. So that was pretty fun. I got lemon pepper. I hear a lot about the
Hold
ranch.
on. You went to Wingstop and you got chicken nuggets?
Dude, I was eating them in my car, bro. Don't shame me.
That's weird.
Don't shame me, bro. I don't care. So like there is no replacement for a wing, okay? There isn't. But let's be completely honest. The wings you get anywhere but from a local establishment, at least where I live, are the little piddly wings. And I don't even like those that much. I do it occasionally. I'll go to Buffalo Wild Wings, like the last time I went to Buffalo Wild Wings was with Ben, because there was an all-you-can-eat special. That's the only reason I would consider going there. Because if it's not a full wing, then it might as well be a chicken nugget to me. Like
All the places we go for wings have full wings.
that's what I'm saying
Oh,
is
okay,
that
I got you.
is that places like Wingstop, places like Buffalo Wild Wings, like they don't have the full wings, and that is the wing experience to me. So the lesser experience of the small wing, which is the majority of wings that are served in restaurants, to me, that doesn't constitute a wing experience if it's not full. And so I then opt for convenience,
Yeah.
which is the nug.
That's fair. I mean, I think there is a very real, like, it is very true that if you get, what are they called? Wing bites. What are they? Not chicken wings, but
wingdings,
boneless
those-
wings.
oh,
If you get
boneless
boneless
wings.
wings, like, there is some testosterone missing from your body, but at the same time, they're practical and they still taste. I mean, we all know it's just like meat thrown in a masher. They mash it and put some breading on it and call it a wing. It's not a wing. We all know that. But does it taste good? Yeah.
It's a nug, and it probably is the bones too. So in some way, I probably am eating a wing that's actually just been pulverized.
Sure.
So
It's
yeah,
the
I mean,
sitting down to pee of appetizers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. I'm not above it. In fact, I endorse it. But surely you guys understand my complaint. Dave, do they have full wings where you live? Is that like a common thing? Because from what I've heard from Dustin's father, is it's so difficult anywhere. He used to live down like DC area. It is like next to impossible to find a place that is serving full wings. Now you know what I'm talking about, not the small ones.
So you're talking about when the drum and the flat are still connected?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
and
frowned upon in socialism. So I've actually never seen that before.
And they're not like
Really?
this big, right, together, right? It's this little tiny, like,
yeah, you get like drums and flats, and yeah, I know what you're talking about. It sounds really intriguing. It's like you
Dude,
could get them at the grocery store, but you wouldn't get them at like a bar.
Right.
But
well, you can around here. That's what I'm saying. So
Right.
if it's not the full experience, I don't want it. You know what I mean? I'm just going to get a nug. At the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. So I got the nugs. Long story short, I went to Wingstop. I've heard a lot about the ranch specifically. And as an avid ranch lover, it was great. It was really good. I gave it a couple sips just straight up, like in a little shot, because they gave me like a little, just because I had to kind of taste it purely.
Yeah.
I needed to get the full
You
palate.
are a sauce man. So
Yeah. So I felt like I didn't want to do it justice by throwing in other flavors immediately. I needed to get the palate feel and the mouth feel of it by itself. Pause. And yeah, it was great. It was great. I've had a good week. I had a good week today. Did a little bit of Christmas shopping with very little luck. I'm so bad at shopping, boys, and I am like very quickly running out of time. People just tell me, "Hey, Brandon, just whenever you go out and you see something that reminds you of somebody, just buy it." And I say that's a great idea. That is actually like really solid advice. But my problem is if I'm going to buy something, I know exactly what I want to buy, and I go into the store and I buy it and then I leave. That's what I do. And so there's none of this like browsing around looking for stuff. I have to like purposely try and do that, which is not something that I do ever during the year. Correct. So I think I need to plan further ahead, shocker. But I also need to like counterbalance my desire to get in and out of places of shopping as quickly as possible.
That's just big Christmas telling you that. They want you to go in and look around and buy more stuff because they know the more time you spend in the store, the more things you'll want to or actually will buy. So you need to stick tight to it, but you need to start thinking about it earlier in the year. Probably that's my problem.
That's fair.
It's like December 15th or whatever, and we'll be like, "What are we getting so and so for Christmas?" A gift card. Like gift cards are. I love. Dude, you could get me gift cards and nothing else for the rest of my life. I'd be so happy as long as they're for somewhere I want to go. Steam, Amazon, by the way. Totally fine.
Note that, everybody. Do you guys have a lot of people that you buy for? A lot of adults that you buy for?
It's
not really.
It's entirely adults for me.
I basically stopped gift giving over the past 5 years, except for children, because I think we may have talked about this before, but the concept of buying an adult a present is just so weird, and it just ends up being a gift card or money or something because the adult just goes and buys whatever they need. So you're just guessing, or you're effectively just going to give them cash.
Right.
And
that's fair.
Not doing that, not trying to be creative and giving someone something thoughtful has made the holiday season so much more enjoyable. Personally, I'm not saying stop buying gifts for people, but it's it's brought the spirit back in.
I guess I'm returning
and
Dave's
remove the
gift.
stress.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't know. There's been a couple years where, like, literally 1 year, Brandon and I don't usually exchange gifts. I know Brandon exchanged gifts with some of our other friends that they've been friends for a very long time, but Brandon and I don't really exchange gifts typically. But like one time I saw something with PlayStation on it, and I thought he might like it, and it was like $10, and I bought it. It wasn't like this is a Christmas gift. It was like this is because I thought of Brandon.
Right.
My sister and her family, and my brother-in-law and their family. None of the adults exchange gifts. We all buy gifts for each other's kids. My in-laws and us, we don't exchange gifts. My parents, we still do, but they're like very small like things. And like my dad last year, we bought him like a salt shaker that's like a grinder, but it grinds up like spicy salt because he really loves spicy foods. But like, not expensive things, not going out breaking the bank or, spending hours trying to find stuff. So and mostly I still exchange with my parents because my mom really likes to, not because I need something from them. It is a weird thing being an adult and being like, oh, I didn't get anything for Christmas this year. That's a weird adjustment, but it's not like I'm disappointed because I probably wouldn't have liked what I got anyway as an adult. So
Just like socks or something's great, man. That's
Yeah.
actually the gifts that I, end up looking forward to. Just shit I can use every day is
Right.
like such an amazing gift. Like a couple years back, I got a nice winter jacket from my brother. Best gift I maybe have ever got.
I don't
Ever.
need to buy a new coat, honestly.
Ever. Seriously. And it came out of nowhere because he saw I was wearing like a bunch of layers and he just went out and bought me this nice Columbia jacket and it's been 10 out of 10. Absolutely.
Boys, I got to talk to you about an experience I had today that's not at all related to gift giving or wrapping. And we'll get to the video games eventually, I guess. Today I was like, I need to clean my desk. And my desk wasn't like dirty. There's a little bit of clutter on it, but mostly I had this like giant mouse pad, like, a thing that covered almost my whole desk. And I'd had it for 7 or 8 years. And it was just like kind of getting grimy and filthy. And my keyboard needed cleaned. And I usually like do a full deep clean of all my computer gear like a couple times a year, but my whole desk just needed reset. And I ended up getting rid of that. I still have it, but I moved that whole mat, got a new mat that's got like a light up edge on it that I just had sitting around from somewhere. Totally cleaned off my desk, moved all the clutter to other places, put only the things on here that I've used in the last 6 months. And it felt like I had Aladdin and Jasmine just start singing a whole new world to me because like I just feel like I got a whole new life right now because there's just less stuff in front of me. And again, it wasn't like filthy stuff or like stuff that I didn't need or didn't want. It was just like stuff everywhere on my desk.
Right.
Which in fairness, I spend most of my day every day at my desk. So like that's where all my stuff is. Pretty much all my stuff that I have is at my desk. But you have anything like that where it's just like I didn't get anything new, I didn't do anything, like I just moved some stuff and cleaned.
Yeah. So
nice.
my like desk revamp that I did last month, all I really did was I have a second monitor now, and the laptop that I used to have here, plus my work laptop that I used to sit on my desk, they're both gone. So I know what you mean. Just having the clean space, it's correlates positively to a clear mind. So I know exactly what you're talking about, Ben.
Yeah, mine's usually just cans. Like I need to get a trash can for my room here because I will just like start to collect yes, that's exactly what I need. Because I'll just start to collect cans or like a coffee cup I have sitting here or, my Medicaid, like just shit that I end up bringing to my desk because I'm in the middle of something else. And then I just leave it here when I get up because I usually go to bed after I'm done playing games. And then after a couple days, it's like, well, there's all kind of shit here. Clean it up, you lazy ass. So I get that feeling, but mine's less of rearranging and more of just like a general laziness. I need a trash can for in here. For
Yeah,
sure.
you need your desk with your computer. You might need a controller or two depending on what kind of games you play. You need a mini fridge and you need a trash can. And honestly,
And the keg,
after that,
the keg. Don't forget the keg.
well,
What
that's the upgrade. That's if you're rich.
What about my Lego Porsche 911?
Does it make you happy?
Yeah.
Then you need it.
What about the Lord of Cinder?
That seems like it could go on the desk behind you in your background there.
What about this vape that I've had sitting here with active vape juice in it for most of the year? This is repulsive. I don't really know what to do with this.
Use that vape
I
juice.
don't really know what to do with this. I want someone to take a death hit from this because this juice has been sitting in here on these coils with these charged batteries for like ever now, and I just need to throw the whole fucking thing away. Like everything.
I have that exact same vape device that's been in the closet or in a box for years.
One last show and tell, boys. Mini Craft Zesty Italian.
Ooh, that's cool.
Did that come with the Legos?
No.
Is there actually Zesty Italian in it?
I don't know.
No
I
other
hope
way to
not.
find out.
I haven't refrigerated
Now,
it.
now that we're doing show and tell, I got to show something. So this is a thing. I made
Oh.
this. We had like a work Christmas party last week, and we did like a lunch together. But then we went to like a glass making class. So this is all made out of glass, and I made this myself. I have no idea what it is. It's just a bunch of interesting shapes and stuff, but
I love that.
it's on my desk now, and it makes me happy.
I have Cuphead on my desk.
Oh shit.
That's a cool one.
Dave, you should bury that, and then in like 1,000 years, someone will think it's like some ancient artifact.
Hieroglyph or something.
My son, my oldest son, when he was a lot younger, loved Cuphead, and I found this at GameStop or something and bought it for him. And of course, then I had to buy Mugman for my other kid. But at one point, my son was like, "I don't really want Cuphead anymore," and I was like, "I do." Like, are you kidding me? But he sat like just now when I touched him is the first time I've moved him in a year. Probably he was just sitting behind my monitor. We got some stuff in the chat here. Dave, is that real Burberry for the tea? No, that is. He said it was Old Navy. Sorry. For real, why don't you guys wear designer clothes for the podcast each week? You know, Radic, I think the only thing you could even remotely get close to calling designer that I own is a Post Malone collaboration with Stetson hat. And I don't even think Stetson's a designer brand, but it's expensive. But
What's
it's not
what's a designer brand?
Something Radic probably can't afford because he's
Something people with a lot of Twitter followers have.
Yeah, dude.
he's
Dude,
been talking about designer clothes since before he had any Twitter followers.
I'm kind of dripped out today. I got the Lurking Class shirt and the Lurking Class hat on. I'm kind of repping.
It's like you match your clothing brands. That's kind of it's like
No,
it's like wearing a band's shirt to the concert. It's not really.
Yeah, well, some of
What's
us
wrong
never
with that?
learn.
It's no, the band can't wear their own shirt, but you can wear the shirt to their concert.
That's
The
a
band
little-
wears their own shirt when they run out of laundry.
They just can't wear it to the concert where they're on stage. That's weird.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
if they're
I-
at the merch stand, that's weird too.
I kind of agree with Ben on this. I kind of agree with Ben on this.
I love when you go to a concert and everybody like buys the tour shirt and puts it on during the concert. Like, we know you were there.
Yeah,
We
I don't
see
know.
you
you
right
have to
now.
prove it, man.
Yeah. It's not even like they're just putting it on to hold it. They like take their other shirt off and take it back to the car. So they could have put the tour shirt in the car, but no, they're wearing it at the concert. And then they put it away and never wear it again.
To be fair, no shame though, because they probably paid $75. So I guess more power to them.
Sure.
For
Derek
shilling.
says chicken nuggets or boneless wings, close enough. Grief says only full wings I can find are from a local place and not from some chain. That's right. Ash wants to know, what have you guys bought all of us loyal viewers for Christmas? We'll tell you in a minute what we got you. Derek says wrapping presents right now, only gifts for the immediate family I'll be with on Christmas morning. Nice. That brings me to our next point. No show next week. Merry Christmas. You don't have to tune in.
Our gift to you.
Normally, Wednesday night next week is Christmas Eve. I assume we'll all have plans or doing things, and probably you will be too, so you don't care. So we're just going to skip the show next week. The week after, we're going to be doing it on the 30th, which is a Tuesday night. So Tuesday night, 7 p.m., the 30th is when we'll be recording. The show will still come out on feeds at the same time, and if you're somebody who watches the show later, you won't be affected, except for next week, where our gift to you is not being here. You're welcome, and Merry Christmas. Don't forget, you can sign up on Patreon for as little as $1 a month to help support the show, ad-free early access to the audio feeds if you like. You can also hang out with us for free on Discord, where last week Christian offered a Steam key, and I said I'd want it, and he never sent it to me. I think Christian still listens to the show pretty frequently, so Christian, you're getting flamed. The HP schedule consistency is really falling off lately.
At Lazy Wizard on Twitch.
Yeah. Well, Derek, here's the thing. I don't care because we've been doing this show for 7 years, and I think we've missed 4 episodes. So
And 3 of those were this year.
that's true. Well, technically, only 3 of them have happened total. The 4th will be this year, next week. Boy. You want to talk about some video games?
Let's do it.
The Game Awards recap. The Game Awards happened last week, the night after we recorded. So I wanted to go through and talk about some of the stuff that was announced. We don't need to talk about the awards unless you guys really want to. Dave, what was the most exciting thing to you last week that we saw at the Game Awards that was announced?
I don't know if it was the most exciting, but I figured we just do what we normally do, and we'll kind of go.
Yeah,
I
that's
picked
fine.
3, and we can just kind of go in a circle. I'm actually going to start with not a game, but a movie, the Street Fighter movie. Um, I don't. This movie might be shit. I don't know. I was more of a Mortal Kombat guy growing up. I still like Street Fighter. I still played it on the SNES. But that trailer was incredible. It was fast. It showed like all of the characters or all the ones you want to see. It was intense. That's how you get people excited for a video game movie. The whole thing where they came out on stage after that was a little weird, but still kind of unique. But the trailer itself has me excited to watch the movie. So I thought I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if that had been leaked or anything, but yeah, I just love the way that they just kind of rapid fired all the different characters in the trailer rather than just making it a slow kind of like teaser thing. It was just like, boom, this is the movie. It's intense. Get excited.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was really cool, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. Again, not super high expectations or anything, but the tone that they kind of conveyed in the trailer was pretty awesome.
Brandon, what about you?
So out the gate, there's a couple things that really stood out to me, period. But one that I was not expecting whatsoever, that I am genuinely incredibly excited for, is The Forest 3.
Yeah.
We talked about The Forest. We've talked about Sons of the Forest. Ben and I have both deeply loved both of these games. And I think about them often. And I want to go back, and we've said this a couple times. And I think we will at some point. I played a little bit here and there with my brother and his girlfriend. But I want another deep dive. But the fact that another Forest game is coming is huge. And I feel like there was such an incremental improvement from the first one to the second one. So I'm really genuinely excited to see what they got to pull out from the third. I'm excited for them to kind of build on the base building mechanics. And I think the new environment, some sort of pseudo space environment is really cool too. I mean, I'm assuming it will be in some sort of forest. Uh, whether that be Space Forest or not, being the name. But the Hydra-like being that was in the Forest 3 trailer, even if it was short and brief, it didn't really show us too much. That really got me hyped because I've thought about that game a lot after playing it, and I really, really enjoyed my time with it. Also, the fact that there's definitely, there's a gun in the trailer, which is really cool to see how they kind of expand upon that. So I love those type of games. Forest 2 is great. Sons of the Forest. So I'm really, really genuinely hyped for that. Maybe not
Hey,
my
there were
best in
guns in
show.
those games.
I know, but like this is like a laser gun, right? Definitely not my best in show, but something that I was very surprised by and is one of the standouts that's kind of like out of nowhere for me.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all, and I certainly wasn't expecting them to do a full-blown trailer at the Game Awards, and especially considering I don't think most people knew what it was for like 3 days after that. Everybody was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It's obviously Sons of the Forest sequel." So, for me, Exodus. I've seen a little bit about Exodus here and there. I'm still not really sure what the game exactly is going to be, or if I should be excited for it. But like, it looks cool, and the fact that Matthew McConaughey is voicing is a voice in the game makes me excited just because I like Matthew McConaughey. So I think it looks awesome. The trailer was really cool. I'm still not 100% sure, what the game is going to be like and what it's going to be about, but I'm excited to see more for it for sure. Back to you, Dave.
No Law. So this is the second game from Neon Giant. I'm a big The Ascent fan, and I've talked about it a lot on the show. So whatever they had next, I was excited for, regardless. But I'm happy to see that they're staying in the same genre. They're sticking with the same visual style. I can remember when The Ascent first came out, I was watching SkillUp's review, and he called the visual style kind of plasticine in a nice way. And I think what he meant was like good lighting, like nice visuals. They're realistic, but they're a little bit more soft and cartoony leaning, like a little bit. And you could clearly see that from the trailer. And I thought that really worked well for the Ascent. So I'm glad to see that they're sticking to their style for their next game. It's first person shooter, and um, I'm fine with that. I just hope they kind of keep a it's a small team, so I hope they kind of keep a limited scope on this and they don't try to create something that's supposed to compete with Cyberpunk. I don't think they do that, but yeah, I hope it's just a game that focuses on fun gameplay. Had like the kick mechanic that like from what was that game? I can't remember the one. Bullet Storm. That one.
Bullets, yeah.
Yeah, remind me of that. The one thing that I'm not happy about is when I've talked about the Ascent on the show, I talked about the awesome soundtrack. So unfortunately, the composer from the Ascent, his name is Pavel Blasik, is not returning. Instead, they've got Jesper Kid. I don't know how to say his last name, and he's no pushover when it comes to video game composing. He's done some excellent scores. The one like when I saw his name, like the first theme that came to mind was Hitman 2: Silent Assassin from 2002. And he's done a bunch of stuff since then, but he's very like orchestral and stuff.
I love that.
And I just was kind of hoping for something similar to the Ascent to carry over. I'm sure it'll still be great, but I did. Well, that's one of the first things I checked, and I was a little bit disappointed that the composer from the Ascent wasn't coming over, but still super excited nonetheless for No Law.
Nice. Brandon.
Huge standout. This is probably my number one, non-surprisingly, is Resident Evil Requiem. If you ever want something to not be leaked, just don't give it to PlayStation. Because I feel like every time something gets leaked, it gets leaked on the PlayStation Store. I don't know what the fuck they're doing there at PlayStation. We knew about Leon. Leon Sex Kennedy. Leon Sex Appeal Kennedy was going to be in the game. Thank you, PlayStation. And the sex appeal is on 10. A little bit gruff. A little bit older. A little bit more experienced. Leon, cunty. Oh no, we're getting demonetized. Fuck. I said it. Requiem. And also
Did you not
Dr.
say cunt on
No.
YouTube channel?
That's like the silver bullet. Now you've said it.
You definitely can't say it twice in 60 seconds.
Yeah, it's
If you say cunt a third time, does that cancel one?
I don't think any of it matters because the channel's not monetized.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
oh well. Also we got to look at the main villain, Dr. Gideon, in this. So excellent all around. Ever since they put out that gameplay a couple months ago, I've been hot on this, especially getting off the back of my Resident Evil marathon. Insanely hyped. This is giving me very much Resident Evil 1 and 2 feels, and that's kind of what I suspected when we got the first trailer last year. You get a couple glimpses of like a mansion type thing, which very heavily reminds me of Resident Evil 1. And potentially some tight corridors like Resident Evil 2. And being back with Leon is going to be absolutely nostalgic in that way. But yeah, looks amazing. Graphically, I feel like it looks really tight. And they've put on nothing but good games for years now. And so this is going to be a day one, an A1 from day one. And Leon with a chainsaw, it just fits. It works well. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
You gotta love it.
Next up for me was Divinity.
Oh,
We knew about the statue that had appeared, and there was all this hype and mystery, and nobody could figure it out. And then I know that people were digging and really wanted to know what it was, but I was a little disappointed that we found out about with that trademark what it was just like 48 hours before the Game Awards, because I think that would have been such a cool reveal for Larian. And it still was a cool reveal. The trailer was awesome.
so good.
I'm excited for it because like many people, Baldur's Gate, after Baldur's Gate, I pretty much will trust Baldur's Gate 3. I'll pretty much trust whatever they do next to at least be good, if not also my cup of tea. I experimented with some of their games in the past, and certainly, Divinity Original Sin 2, I played a tad and I watched some of it. It wasn't I don't know if it was just the mood or whatever. It didn't quite do it for me. I never got into it, but at this point, I'm like, I'm in on whatever they're working on next because they've they've proven themselves many times, but they prove themselves to me specifically. Um, I hold them in a very high regard after Baldur's Gate 3. So Divinity looks awesome, and that trailer, like that's a masterclass trailer in my
Huge,
opinion.
man. Dude,
Yeah.
so cool. Such amazing world building, even in the very short amount of time that we got in that trailer. And I agree with you fully, Ben. Larian shit's gold at this point to me after all of the goodwill and the
Yeah.
quality and the content that they've updated and continue to update. They had a completely full amount of content at release and just kept giving and giving and giving.
And I know they had good stuff before that. It's not that they were like a
Right.
nobody, but just
No,
they weren't on my radar.
exactly. And I feel like that's where Larian resonated with a lot of people. And so to have the potential of more people to be able to come into that series, period, I think is huge. Really big. Excellent trailer.
Back to you, Dave.
Um, one of the other ones that really jumped out at me, and I'm not a huge Yakuza guy. I've played a little bit, but Gang of Dragon looked awesome, and this is one of the old. Hey, what's Cuphead doing there? This is one of the Yakuza veterans who's left and started his own studios, and the visuals of this game were what jumped out at me first. The facial animations were pretty spectacular. It looked like the kind of game that I was hoping to see closer to launch of this current generation. One of those games that really kind of wows you visually. Yeah, sorry, Gang of Dragon looked really cool. The combat, I assume it's going to look and feel a lot like a Yakuza game, but the combat looked like it was going to be a lot more raw and heavy and violent than the more arcadey leaning Yakuza hand-to-hand combat that we got. There also appeared to be some driving, so I think it would be cool if this was like a Sleeping Dog style open world game. Obviously, I had a great time with that game last year. So I think this one's a little bit further off, but what we saw so far definitely looked in engine, and it looked really, really good. The other thing that I liked is the protagonist. Like he kind of looked just like an old dude who was clearly past his prime and just wanted to go home and drink a beer, but instead he's like beating the shit out of gangsters and stuff. So yeah, I really like the vibe and the style of Gang of Dragon, and probably not going to be next year, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this materializes.
Brandon, back to you.
Lords of the Fallen 2 continues to look great. This is our first deep dive into the gameplay, and I wouldn't even call it deep. It was just a dive into the gameplay. If this team can do nothing else, they can make a fantastic set piece. I think they worked really hard to make the first Lords of the Fallen work, and they got a lot of things right. The sense of atmosphere, the visuals of the first one were fantastic, and it looks like that's translated really well into their second iteration here. I'm looking forward to seeing how they kind of have adopted stuff from the genre moving forward, because they did a pretty decent go at it. It just wasn't quite right.
No.
Also, there was a huge performance issue, which I've heard since has been fixed. But I hope as they continue to work with Unreal Engine 5, not only can they make it look beautiful, but they can also make it perform okay. So I'm cautiously optimistic, because this is very similar to how I felt about the first one going into it. And the end product was pretty good. I just want them to make a great game, and I do think they have it in them to make it. So cautiously optimistic for Lords of the Fallen, but the trailer they made was absolutely awesome, if nothing else. Very, very cool.
Cautiously optimistic is the name of the game. My third pick was Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic. Look, if you've been around the KOTOR discussion and any part of the fandom for years now, you've just been disappointed with the remakes and the reboots and everything messy that's happened with Aspire and everything else. But hey, I'm in because it's Star Wars and it's Old Republic stuff. So Casey Hudson coming back to work on this game, single player game. Star Wars, hitting all the right notes for me. Who knows when it'll come out? Who knows what it's going to be like? Hopefully, it's amazing. But I'm optimist. I don't even know if I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm cautiously hopeful. Maybe is the right word. I'm excited. I want to play it, so I want them to make it, and I want them to be good. And I would love if it's out before I'm 40. That'd be great. Boys, anything else you wanted to call out? I know we just talked about 3 there, but
Grandma game.
Grandma game.
I can't remember the name of it. Coven and the Chicken Foot. That was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool art style. You play as a grandma.
Beautiful.
So,
Yeah,
what more
beautiful.
is there to say?
As I usually like to do in these, I wanna point out something that I thought was truly awful, and I did talk a little bit about the show, a little bit before the show about this. Diablo announced their next expansion with the Lord of Hatred, and the beginning cinematic of him talking about streamers and the people in the audience was truly insulting, and absolutely downright ridiculous. I think having the Lord of Hatred come out and talk to the audience and break the third wall, is it fun and kitschy? Sure, but it just seems so silly in a way that Diablo really isn't. And it felt very strange to me. It felt like somebody took something from Diablo and fed it into AI, and then said make it do some sort of funny announcement for the Game Awards.
And mention Shroud.
It was like a fever dream, really, because it just doesn't make sense. It's like watching the Pope do the Crip Walk or something. Like
That sounds awesome.
There's-
From Chicago.
actually that does sound awesome, but there was some sort of dissonance in me when I saw this, and it was so strange. And I think Blizzard should be ashamed, because they could have simply just put out the trailer and it would have been fine, because the trailer was fine. Their cinematics are always 10 out of 10. If they can't make a good game, or they make, something that is broken, that's fine, but they make good cinematics. No one can argue with that. I just wish they wouldn't have done that ridiculous shit at the beginning, because I truthfully thought it was very strange.
Is there a way we can figure out how to pin this on Phil Spencer?
There's always a way.
Just do it.
Okay. We should do it then.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna pay $70 for it, but the Legacy of the Dark Knight Lego Batman game still looks awesome.
It still looks great. Still looks great. I don't know that it's worth 2 Arc Raiders, but it still looks great.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Tomb Raider?
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tomb Raider games, the new ones, the one that's going to come out in 2027, they've been good for a long time. So I think that's going to have no problems. I am interested in the kind of reboot from the original. That looks pretty quality, and I never got a chance to play the original, so definitely interested if they do it right. And I think these sort of games, I don't want to say they're always a slam dunk, because you can fuck them up from what we've seen in the past, but you have a lot of the framework and direction, right? You just have to work on making it run well and look good and updating it. So,
yeah, I mean, it's a full remake, and I'm sure they'll change a decent amount of stuff, but I played so much of that first Tomb Raider game when I was a kid that I'll probably just be able to breeze right through it, is what I'm saying. No
did it
trouble.
awaken something in you?
I don't know if I was at the right age for that. I can't recall.
Interesting.
It's not standing out in my mind as something that awakened something in me. So I didn't hate it. I'll tell you that. All right. Anything more about the Game Awards? The Game Announcement Awards? Let's talk about one of our favorite topics ever, which is Marathon. This comes from Kotaku, one of our favorite websites ever. Bungie's Marathon resurfaces with a $40 price tag and a March 2026 release date. Marathon was supposed to be out months ago. Instead, it's coming in March 2026. Bungie revealed the new launch timing in a surprise video documentary that went live on Monday, in which the game developers promise a sci-fi survival extraction shooter that's full of mysteries and hidden dangers. The fresh 22-minute deep dive goes over all the elements of the project the studio's been rehabbing since it was indefinitely delayed earlier this year, following harsh fan feedback from its initial public alpha test. During that quiet period, Bungie's held multiple closed beta tests to re-examine gameplay and introduce completely new features, including proximity chat. After becoming a cornerstone of this fall's hit rival extraction shooter Arc Raiders, the feature will now be a staple of Marathon as well. The documentary also details the development team's evolving approach to everything from audio and visuals to zone design and loot mechanics. The goal is clear: make Marathon's maps and the experiences that take place there have more of an identity beyond repetitive beats with a grindy, quick match PvP shooter. They also, by the way, at some point paid probably a large settlement to the guy they stole art from. Worth noting. Brandon,
Yeah.
I'm not really I haven't been that interested in Marathon from the get-go. Knowing that it's going to be a $40 game, it's probably a game I'll jump into and check it out. It just never, I don't know if it was the visual style or what, it just never really super appealed to me, but I'll probably check it out. But I get the feeling that they were like, well, we really can't afford to wait much longer. And I don't mean that from a financial perspective. I mean that from if we wait much longer, everybody's going to be in their extraction shooter games and be done with any new ones. Because that happens with different genres. But maybe I'm wrong. How do you feel about this reveal? I know I didn't watch the full 22-minute thing. I read some details and stuff, some cool stuff in there. I know you said you didn't get a chance to check it out either, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, to kind of answer your question, I don't think the genre fatigue is really a thing that's going to happen for a long time, because I feel like this is a genre that's really coming into its own, and really is starting to break mainstream. So I think the fatigue of the genre is not really something they're too concerned with, because I feel like it's reaching new heights that it's never reached before, and probably will have coattails that are much longer than when this game comes out. So I think this is great. I love a $40 price tag. I was just talking about Arc Raiders and how awesome it is of a value at that price tag. Bungie, without a doubt, is one of the greats. They've made a lot of mistakes, but they're good at making first-person shooters. And so it's always intrigued me, this game. Unlike you, I am very interested in the visual art style. In fact, I think that might be one of the best parts of this game, is how interesting, albeit maybe if some of the ideas were directly ripped off from somebody who originally had the thoughts, but all art's derivative to some extent. But yeah, I'm really interested. I think this time they took was needed. I think they kind of were in an interesting spot, and there was a lot of critique going around about it. And I think that releasing too early would have been very bad for them. Now, whether it's been long enough, I don't know. It isn't that much of a delay. So I guess we'll see how much has changed since people got their hands on it a couple months ago. But I think that Bungie and Marathon have a lot. They have a lot to thank Arc Raiders for at this point. I think it's a double-edged sword, because one, I think they're probably kicking themselves in the ass that they weren't a breakout title in a genre that clearly people enjoy first. Of course, there's other extraction shooters, but with Arc Raiders, we're seeing numbers that were unprecedented in this genre prior. But I think they also have a lot to thank Arc Raiders for, because it brought the genre to more people. And I think that Marathon will do better because Arc Raiders came out.
Dave, I know you were somewhat interested in this in the past. In this documentary, I saw a screenshot of the inventory management system, and for someone with an incredible OCD like me, it looks awesome. But I'm curious if that directs your thoughts on the game and your general impressions.
Yeah, well, I think from a timing perspective, March is about as good as they can get for 2026. That should be around the time that people are getting bored of Arc Raiders. Not saying that people are going to get bored of Arc Raiders, but the honeymoon phase will be over. Same with COD and Battlefield, and it's far enough away from the black hole that will be GTA that I think March is kind of that's a good spot for them. They had the beta late in the summer, and I think they've had a number of closed betas since then, probably much smaller. So they've had enough time to collect feedback and hopefully action it. So I think as long as they can be Bungie that's what they need to do. Is Brandon, you hit the nail right on the head. Like Arc Raiders, it can appear that they may have stolen all the thunder away from them, but they may have done them a favor. Like
Yeah.
this is not a niche genre anymore. It was when Tarkov was the biggest extraction shooter game in the business, but it's not anymore. There's a lot of people who want more of this. So I think there's an opportunity there. And again, if they can just be Bungie and do what they do best and kind of put that into an extraction style shooter, they might have a really good opportunity here. A lot of people suggest that the price tag is what killed Concord, but I think the $40, and I've been kind of critical of that price point in the past, where I've said you either need to be premium full price or you need to be free to play. The squishy in the middle, it's a risk, and I still believe that. But I mean, it's worked for Arc Raiders, it worked great for Helldivers. So as long as you can put forth a compelling product, as long as you can be Bungie and show that this is a Bungie shooter and it feels like a Bungie extraction shooter, and also show that there's a lucrative path of alluring post-launch content, then this game, despite what happened late in the summer, could be in a really good position to do really, really well. So I've never been much of an extraction shooter guy, but this is probably the sort of thing that I would be interested in checking out. And I do think they've got a really interesting visual style too. Like it's you could argue that Arc Raiders is, it appears to be a game that's it's got a great feel, but from a look and personality standpoint, it doesn't really stand out. Well, this does. This is the kind of thing that can jump out at people who maybe don't know what an extraction shooter is. So I think, considering everything that's come before, Bungie is putting this game in a position to succeed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this lands, and maybe I'll finally jump into one of these.
The $40 price point conversation is interesting because, like, we know that free to play can work, right? Obviously, the biggest game in the world is free to play. Is
Skull
Fortnite
and
the
Bones?
biggest game in the world? Yeah, Skull and Bones.
Yeah, or Roblox.
Yeah, probably. Which I guess both of them are free to play. But we also know that like free to play does bring in some issues with it as well, especially when you're talking about slightly more niche game, etc. Easier to create new accounts for hacking, easier to lots of stuff. And then you talk about a higher price point. Well, then people are less likely, if they buy the game full price, to buy cosmetics, which I think statistics show people will buy more cosmetics in a free to play game than they would in a game they pay money for. But they'll still buy some if it's a game they pay something for as opposed to full price. So that's an interesting point of it as well. I don't know. There's definitely a lot of like discovery and philosophy in there. Then you price your game if you price your game somewhere, $20 feels like, oh, I could play this for a couple nights and be done. $40 feels like, oh, I need to get my money's worth and play this a little more. $70 is, I don't really know if I want to buy that right now. So like, I feel like $40 is a good price for me personally to check out almost anything and then still feel a little bit of commitment afterwards, even if even if it's not my favorite game in the world. I don't know. I'm just spitballing at this point. I think the price point is probably a good thing. I think Embark with the finals put it out for free and it did well, but like it's had a drop off. They've been consistent with content and the game is solid. It's a really fun, really good game. But I feel like with Arc Raiders, the tail might be a little longer just because of the price point. That also helps them continue to develop the game, I guess, too. So I don't know. There's probably much more into it than I'm thinking, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm interested to check out Marathon. It's not like on my most anticipated. I'm sure that if it's a good Bungie game and it's also a genre I'm enjoying, I'm gonna love it. But there was just so much noise around. I wasn't in the first playtest, and there was so much noise around it not being good that I think it just kind of soured me on it. But I always said like I'm probably still gonna play it. So we'll see how she goes. All right, we got Digital Foundry's 2025 Graphics of the Year Awards.
Great people over there, Digital Foundry.
Yeah, Dave is a big personal fan of Digital Foundry. And since he's fulfilled his resolution for the year, you'll never hear otherwise again. They got some honorable mentions here: Mario Kart World, Kirby Air Riders, and Fast Fusion for the honorable mentions. The Dying Light the Beast. Dave, why don't you take this one? Because you're the one who threw this on there, as you do most of the stories. Maybe you had a different angle that I was just going to read through it.
No, yeah, I just thought, we don't really care about awards, but Digital Foundry is a well-respected figure in the industry as well. They should be.
Dave, I feel like there's a lot of revisionist history happening right now.
So I'll just kind of rapid fire and then I'll read the winner. So they have honorable mentions: Mario Kart World, Kirby Air Riders, and Fast Fusion, Dying Light the Beast, Eartheon. This is a game I haven't actually heard of. Ghost of Yote's on there. Mafia: The Old Country, Metroid Prime 4, Routine, another indie game, Silent Hill F. Then we're getting into number 3, Death Stranding 2. Number 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows. There we go, boys.
Wow.
And number 1, this is for you, Brandon. Doom: The Dark Ages is Digital Foundry's Graphics of the Year award winner for 2025. So, yeah, I don't know what you guys think about that, but I feel like there's a couple picks on this list which aren't necessarily like this is the best looking game of the year, but more these are games that did a lot with not much hardware, and Metroid Prime was obviously one that jumped out at me just because I was really nervous being a Switch 1 owner about this game not doing too well on old hardware. Turned out that it was excellent on the Switch 1, and it being one of the marquee titles from Nintendo's catalog, I probably shouldn't be too surprised that they wouldn't allow this game kind of misstep on the platform where they had the highest install base. So that jumped out to me. Assassin's Creed Shadows was another one that I was happy to see, obviously because I'm a fan of the series, but the team appeared to do a lot with seasons and the seasonal mechanic in this game where you had beautiful locales, but then as you progress through the game, like the season changed, so you would have a beautiful winter locale, and then you could come back in the fall and it would also be beautiful, but like completely different visually. So I'm glad to see that they've got sort of industry recognition on that. And this is like the 4th game in the RPG Assassin's Creed game, so like they've had some time to really kind of refine this approach, and I'm glad to see they got some recognition. But Brandon, any thoughts on? I think you played. Did you play Mafia?
Yeah, I did. It performed like shit, and so I stopped playing it. But it looks really good.
Yeah.
It looks really, really good. As essentially all Unreal Engine 5 games do. They look great, but they run like shit. So yeah, I mean, I agree with it from that perspective. Unsurprisingly, seeing it in here with Doom: The Dark Ages, I've said it before, I'll say it again. They are a masterclass studio in writing code that makes games look good on the least amount of hardware possible. So to see that they have all this new tech integrated, and it looks so good, they just got the sauce. They got the juice there, man. And I'm not surprised there. A little bit surprised to see Assassin's Creed. I haven't played it myself, but I'm glad
Apparently
to see
the hair in that game is really good.
Good hair.
Every time I think about a game, I that's the first thing I look for.
Yeah, I knew it.
Is the hair physics. So, Ben.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I think there's just a lot of nuance with these picks. Like, a lot of them are like, this looked the best considering what it did. Like, Doom looks great, and it has a lot of, like, I think there was a big commotion around it needing ray tracing in order to run, but, like, they made that run really well on machines that could support it. So I think that's cool to just see Digital Foundry's picks, because obviously they're diving much deeper into the requirements and the necessary hardware and everything to run games than the average consumer is. So I think it's cool. I don't really care. Ultimately, like, Megabonk is my game of the year. Like, I love games that look amazing. Don't get me wrong. But like, I need a game to be really fun and right up my alley for me to enjoy it. It doesn't need to look the best, but total aside, did either of you guys play Doom: The Dark Ages?
Yeah, I played
Brandon did.
probably a little over half of it, and then
Yeah,
other
so
shit
did
came
I.
out. So
I forgot. This is not a statement on the game itself, but I played a little bit of it and then I forgot about it. It wasn't like, oh, I'll get back to that. I forgot about it until this moment.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people felt that way.
I feel bad about that because the first couple hours of that game that I played were awesome.
It's so good, but I think also whenever you get into a series that has multiple iterations, you kind of get a bit of fatigue. Even no matter how good it is, no matter how different it is, I kind of felt that way with games like God of War Ragnarok. Like I loved it to death, but
Yeah,
it never captured the lightning in the bottle like the first one did for
right.
me.
Yeah.
Was that a Thor reference? That was excellent. Good job.
Thank you. I'm smart. Finally, someone understands me.
GameSpot says for years EA Sports was a one-stop shop for FIFA branded soccer, but that partnership officially ended in 2023. Since then, FIFA has been absent from the video game scene, but today Netflix Games and Delphi Interactive have announced they will be bringing officially branded FIFA soccer back in a new game slated to launch in 2026. The unnamed FIFA soccer game will be available via the Netflix app on both iOS and Android devices, and it is planned to launch this summer, just in time for the FIFA World Cup 2026. The official announcement calls the game a newly reimagined FIFA football simulation game, but no other details were provided. Quote, this major collaboration is a key milestone in FIFA's commitment to innovation in the football gaming space, which aspires to reach billions of football fans of all ages everywhere in the world and will be redefining the pure notion of simulation games. The FIFA partnership marks the latest splash from Netflix Games, which also added WWE 2K and Grand Theft Auto to its service in recent months. Its parent company has not been quiet either, with Netflix recently reaching an agreement to purchase Warner Brothers for $82 billion. We talked about that extensively last week. Dave, is the world ready to play video games actually this time on Netflix?
No. I'm gonna say no. We talked about last week about the acquisition of Warner Bros., which is still up in the air. But Netflix's gaming strategy was kind of a mystery for a long time, and it's starting to materialize. At least it seems like they're trying to take the easy way out of obtaining, maybe not obtaining, but signing deals to get the biggest IP. So like you're just forced, like huge swaths of gamers are forced to go to Netflix to play games. So, but in any case, like FIFA, this is huge. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
EA's had this license for a long time, and the games have been developed by EA Vancouver for a long time. And so now you've got EA, who holds the license slash IP. Netflix is the distribution slash publisher. And the mystery is this Delphi Interactive company, who's I assume they're the developer. And if you kind of look at their mission statement and combine that with the announcement about, this is coming to Netflix, it's going to be available on Android and iOS devices, and they're revolutionizing the way that the soccer sim is going to be delivered to gamers. So if I was a huge fan of FIFA, I don't know how excited I would be about this, because it sounds like they're trying to take it in a different direction. And then I'm going to read Delphi's mission statement. Delphi has pioneered a proven model to de-risk titles, reduce development costs, and create unprecedented alignment between IP owners, creatives, and developers. That first line specifically kind of suggests that this is like, is this AI stuff? Is this like Gen AI kind of, I don't know. I see de-risk and reduce development cost, and I think, are they the perfect people to kind of pump out FIFA iterations year after year that have no soul, no effort, but because it says FIFA on it, people are going to buy it. The interesting thing about FIFA is when it comes to soccer sims, there are competitors out there. So you do have to try a little bit, but they're coming out on Netflix, which is a huge install base, and it's a World Cup year, so there's some opportunity there. But I don't know. If I was a big fan of FIFA, the video games, I don't know how I'd feel about the direction this is going, but time will tell. And this Delphi company has also partnered with IOI, on something Hitman related, but they just kind of seem to be a mystery. You can look on their website, like there's nothing there. So yeah, I guess time will tell.
It's amazing how many companies are out there. And I found this, I was searching for a job end of last year, beginning of this year. It's amazing how many companies are out there that you would have no idea ever do anything, but you look at their list of credits of like things they've done and contributed to, and it's like, oh, they run the show. Like they run video games. And I want, Delphi maybe this kind I don't know anything about them, but you're right about the wording being a little bit ambiguous and what they're doing and how they're doing it. But Brandon, ultimately, I'm just not sure. Netflix has had some games for years now. There's probably been some series that have some studios that have straight up not performed well because they were on Netflix. I feel like if they're going to put a game like FIFA on Netflix, they got to be smart enough to also sell or provide this through alternative means that isn't just having a subscription to Netflix. What do you think? Like buying it straight up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they have the money, and if they make all of the profit come to them, it might be worth the difference.
No.
I think that this is a huge win for Netflix, but not a huge win for football or soccer fans. We've seen a lot of companies try to buy their way into the video game space in the past couple years. Amazon being one of the biggest ones that would be the closest in stature to Netflix, Amazon being bigger of the two. But even a company like that can't really buy their way. Amazon,
yeah,
one of the giants, can't really buy their way. I mean, we talked, last month about how many things were being shut down in their failed video game initiative. So yeah, I don't think this is good for people that are a fan. And even if there is competition in the space, I think that people should really be cautious of the product that they're putting forward, because I am positive that this is a move to capitalize on a series that always sells and is the biggest sport in the world. And Netflix knows that. And it's very smart for them to kind of capitalize on this. But I am a little bit concerned for the people who do love the sport, who do love the games, that they won't be considered whatsoever, and that this really is just a cash grab. So it doesn't look good for me. Buying your way into the video game space has proven time and time again that it doesn't really work. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is another failed attempt. I'm sure they've spent an insane amount of money, and you would think they would have some sort of foresight, but these companies don't understand. So
yeah, it's interesting watching people recognize potential but misunderstand execution.
Exactly.
When it comes to buying this stuff. And for what it's worth, like I think that for instance, you mentioned Amazon, like their foray into gaming has seemingly ceased at this point, but by most companies' metrics, the games they were putting out would have still been successes. They're just not successes for Amazon. So it's really interesting too to see priorities and everything. Like if somebody else had New World and they had that many, I don't know what the background numbers were, whatever, but like that game had an active enough player base that most companies would have kept it going for at least a few more years.
Right.
And for Amazon, it's like, well, we could be making more money somewhere else, so we're going to divert those resources elsewhere.
Yeah, but
even though this is profitable.
I guess that's the other scary thing with these big companies buying in is don't get too attached.
Yeah.
So
speaking of which, I just realized this the other day. I mean, I've known that like you have the Amazon Prime gaming claim, the things you can claim every month. Like they do free games if you have a Prime membership. They've now integrated their Luna service, which is like the cloud gaming, and pretty much all of the games that you've ever claimed on Amazon Prime Gaming, and then they have a whole suite of stuff too if you like subscribe to some higher tier, I don't know, are available. And like I'm like, I have a Fire Stick and I have like 15 extra Xbox controllers. I think I'm just gonna hook it up and let my kids play with it and see if they enjoy the experience. Because like, for instance, Hogwarts Legacy is on their like Prime Gaming or their Luna service it's just included. And like my kids, I guess technically Hogwarts Legacy is on the Switch, but my kids have Switches and they're not the greatest hardware for playing FIFA games. And they also wouldn't suffer from a cloud connection, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna see what happens. Hook them up
Yeah.
with it and
Might as well if it's
let
free,
'em
man,
rip.
right?
I mean, yeah, I'm already paying for Prime yearly, and only for the shipping. I barely even watch their video offerings, so might as well get
Either.
some extra juice out of it, I guess. Also, the other day I realized like how many games I've claimed because I was looking through it looking for something specific. I was like, maybe I have this game somewhere, and I didn't. But I've claimed like hundreds of games over the last few years,
Yeah, me too.
and I'm just like I've never played any of these, and some of them are like really good games actually.
I have so many GOG games.
Oh yeah,
That's the only ones I really care about.
right, yeah. I haven't historically necessarily cared about all the Luna games that you claim, but between GOG and EGS, I don't really care what, as I've mentioned before, I don't really care what storefront I play on. Like I love Steam, PlayStation, it's great, but if you tell me a game is on some launcher your grandma just made, as long as it launches the game and I like the game, I don't really care where to play it. It doesn't matter to me. So, all right, that's all the news for the week. Let's talk about what we've been playing. We'll start with Dave. Same game as last week, Dave. Or have you not beat this game yet?
No, I
Come
haven't
on.
played much this week. Just mostly Metroid Prime 4. I am starting to feel the difficulty complaints of this game or lack thereof difficulty. Which is ironic because I just bitched previously about how Metroid Prime 2 was like obnoxiously hard, but like hard in a bad way. So Metroid Prime 4, and it's not so much like people are complaining about like the hand holding. I'm not really, that isn't really bothering me too much. It's more just like I'm seeing energy tanks throughout the world that they're what you get to collect more health, and I don't really feel the need to go and like get them later or even like mark them on my map. So when I have the ability that unlocks the thing that I need to get that energy tank, I don't really feel the need to go back and get it because like nothing from a combat perspective is really challenging me yet. Maybe that'll change. But I am kind of noticing that having played Metroid Prime and Metroid Dread, I think those two were kind of perfect from a difficulty standpoint. Very different games, obviously, but like they were hard, but never like obnoxiously hard. And you also needed to discern the map a lot more. Whereas with Metroid Prime 4 to this point, like it's just been kind of rudimentary in its map design. I saw someone on Reddit had said Metroid Prime 4, it's not a great Metroidvania, but it's a great 3D Zelda game. And that's kind of what it feels like. It's like you never really get lost and you're never really having to pore over the map to figure out where you need to go next, or you know, that one room that you missed where you now have the upgrade to go get. Like it doesn't have the complexity that some of the other games have had. So I'm starting to notice that again, still having a fantastic time, but yeah, just kind of have that piece of feedback so far about Metroid Prime 4. So we'll see where it goes. I'm past the halfway point. I know I am. So I should have felt a difficulty spike by now, but I just haven't. So yeah, that's it for me.
Cool, Brandon.
I'm still just playing Arc Raiders. I did go back a little bit and played a tiny bit more of Claire Obscure. Nothing notable, a very short amount of time, but there's a new winter event in Arc Raiders, so I've been eagerly grinding through that. I said last week I was going to do my expedition and essentially collect money, increase my stash value, and I've reached a threshold that I'm willing to accept. I'm going to continue to push. I think I have another 3 or 4 days, but yeah, it's good, man. It's really good. I am infatuated. My obsessive compulsive disorder, or whatever compulsive disorder I have, allows me to hyperfixate on stuff for a while, and then I could usually kind of like get rid of it and fixate on something else. I very much fixated on this game and have not been shaken in over a month. So
I'm with you, man. And the new update's cool. They're constantly doing new stuff. Something in me tells me that these guys are just cheeky enough to launch like something major, like a brand new map or something, the week that Marathon releases. I don't know if that's actually true, but it'd be interesting to say the least. And hey, they just like this afternoon sent everybody who has the game 1,000 of the or of the paid currency. So they're clearly enjoying their time being at the top of the charts, I would imagine.
And they got their flowers at the
Yeah.
Game Awards. So
They did. They got robbed of a few nominations, in my opinion, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm playing Arc Raiders as well. Still putting a lot of time into it, having a lot of fun. This is just in the rotation for me at this point. Like, I'm just playing it, and I think there are some more balancing things they need to do. They've done a little bit of that. But I think that some of those things are balanced by not in the traditional sense of when you have competitive games and you have things like, for instance, in Arc Raiders, there's the trigger grenades. Everybody's complaining about the trigger grenades. I can't make or buy them. I have to find them on someone. So like there is a little bit of RNG to whether you even get them to use them. And then once you do get them, they're kind of expensive to make. Now, if you're playing the game 24/7, like a lot of the streamers who are complaining are, then they're less. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how expensive they are. But I do think there are some balancing things, cost wise, damage wise, all that kind of stuff. But overall, I'm very happy with what they've been doing. They've been very responsive. I don't love that like they're launching all the big things all at once, but I also understand that game development is not easy and that when you do one thing, you can mess up a million others. So I prefer they do it a little more slowly and make it right rather than having to patch. The other thing I've been playing, I mentioned Dead Zone Rogue last week, and I didn't realize it, but they put out like today they put out a new patch. It's like a huge new zone, some new mechanics, all that kind of stuff. I haven't had a chance to dive into it in full. I went and did like one partial run right before the show because I had a few minutes and just wanted to check it out. It's a whole, like I said, it's a whole new area, new enemies, new upgrade mechanics, all that kind of stuff. I'm really impressed with this game being a smaller game from a small team, low price point, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Like it's a very, very relaxing but also interesting game to play. And I say relaxing because it's like you get into a flow. It's a brutal shooter that can be, pretty tough, but like there's a flow to it, and it's just in on a run, kill the bad guys, upgrade, keep going. This new one seems to have more of this new edition seems to have more of a story as well. So I'll report back on that once I played some more of it. The other thing I almost forgot about, there was a playtest that opened up yesterday. I got an email about it and jumped in for. I know this is going to shock you guys, but another simulator game. It's my first time dabbling with any kind of simulator game or anything, but Grand Casino Simulator. And it's a sim like all the other management sims that are out there, but it's that you build your own casino. Playtest was great. I went and this is important, people. As someone who works on games, but also loves to play games, go and play games, play demos, go and playtest, and then actually give your feedback. Because if developers are asking for it, it means they want it. They might not do exactly what you want them to do with it, but they're asking for that feedback and it's helpful. So I went and played a couple hours of that playtest, got to the end of the scripted stuff. I could have kept going, but I didn't. Submitted some feedback and hopped into their Discord, and they were appreciative of everything. And I've already implemented some patches of things that I and others have mentioned. So it's really cool to see them like working on it in real time too. Grand Casino Simulator. These simulator games don't ever get any media attention hardly, but they're always huge on Steam because a bunch of freaks like me enjoy them. So if you are a freak like me and you like sim games, it seems like it's going to be a fairly solid one. If you don't mind gambling. And that's it. That's the show.
That's it.
And now you don't have to hear from us for 2 whole weeks.
Wow. Merry Christmas.
Well, 13
Merry
days.
Christmas.
Really.
Merry
Happy
Christmas
holidays.
to you all. Enjoy it with your families. Be safe out there.
We will be back on Tuesday the 30th, streaming live at 7 p.m. Eastern. We thank you very much for hanging out with us. I think that's all we got. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.